Welcome, seekers of the unknown, as we pull back the veil between the living and beyond. Unraveling questions that plague our minds, and oftentimes presenting the evidence that may prove them true. Let us take you on a journey where paranormal becomes normal, and where what is right behind you just might be echoes of the afterlife or something more. But fair warning, once you step into the supernatural with us, you might just stay haunted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stay Haunted. Before we get started, there's something that I need to point out. You are watching a pre-recorded show. We are not live. So if you're making fun of us, we'll never know.
Oh, we can
Well,
go back and
we'll
look.
come back and look.
We'll go back and rewatch. We'll be team rewatch.
Yeah, we will be watching with you. So if you make fun of us in the chat, we're going to see you making fun of us live. But this is not live. And the reason we're recording is tonight our guest is from over the pond. I'll introduce her here in a couple minutes, right after we make ourselves look stupid like we all normally do during the show. But welcome back to Stay Haunted, guys.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! We are happy to have YouTube back. We missed you last week.
I
Yeah.
know. We missed
But
you
it's
too. But we like we're at.
Yeah. We missed doing the show, but the alternative was
It was very nice.
it was a bonus.
A little bit of sun, a little bit of warm.
So for everybody that doesn't know, Audra and I were in Cancun Sunday through Thursday last week. Every year in January, my company and its vendors provide a free trip to Cancun, all inclusive in the resorts, on the beach, for all the top performers of the company. We have one night we have a cocktail party, and then another night we have an award ceremony, which anybody that's friends with me on Facebook saw some of the pictures. The rest of the time is all ours. We get to spend at the resort, sit on the beach. We had a swim out pool. It was my company's phenomenal, y'all. It is phenomenal. That's the second year we've gone, and we found out this year that we get to go every year. So
Nice.
we will have pictures for you every January from Cancun.
Darn it, you have to go every year. That's a dream.
Yeah, that's the best part about Audra. She doesn't have to work for it. She just gets the trip.
Oh,
Well, she's got to deal with you, so that's good enough.
I didn't say she didn't earn it.
Just saying.
true.
Just saying. You deserve it. You deserve it.
How was last week's show? How did you guys do? How's your week been?
I actually watched the show. The show was very good, and
How
I'm
did
upset
we
that
do? How did we do?
Yeah.
We
You guys
helped. Did we hold it down? Did we represent Stay Haunted?
you represented Stay Haunted very well, and
We appreciate
you could have done it with a better guest
I
other than
know.
the guest that we have tonight.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
No,
This was good.
it was a good
Start the year
conversation.
with
Seeing how early. Yeah, it was an awesome way to start it with Chris, and we know you guys wanted to be there. But we talked about it. We'll definitely have him back on maybe later in the year. That way, all four of us, kind of see how he's starting to do, kind of guest appearances and stuff like that. Going to, still talking about the true haunting experience.
Well, for anybody that hasn't traveled out to a Paracon that Chris is at, Chris is not the.
Yeah.
The show last week we're talking Carmela. That's Chris. He is just one of the sweetest guys on the planet, man. He is.
Yeah, absolutely.
We lost you.
We lost you. Damn it. We're
We lost
glitching.
you. We're in the Matrix.
We were in
Are we
the
Matrix? Oh,
we
you're back.
froze. We're
You're back.
back.
You're back.
We were in the Matrix. We glitched.
So
Yeah.
so did we. So for everybody watching, yes, you also do have technical difficulties when you're trying to record the damn show. So
Always
But
something.
I have to say, I have goosebumps from head to toe, and I think there's something behind us.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
whoever's here, stop, please. Let us get us through our.
Like I keep doing this, like
Alone.
Let us get us through our.
you are
show.
allowed to join and watch, but don't
Yes.
fuck with the recording.
yeah, right. Just keep moving.
Maybe it's the Masonic. Maybe it's our friend in the Masonic, JF
I don't
Jr.
know. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
So,
it's
All right.
Goosebumps from head to toe, and I just want
I
to
hear
do that.
So yeah, so we ended up. So that was a great episode last week, and then we kicked off our just a rehash. We did 2 investigations to kick off the year. We did Friday night. What was Friday night? Friday night was White Hill Mansion
with my family.
with her family.
So family is crazy.
Oh wow, good for you.
If you're just there to have a good time, it's good. But you seriously can't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they were jumping out of closets. They were
it wasn't-
trying to scare you every 5 seconds,
Doing
and
jump
the
scare-
girls were
doing
just
jump scares.
screaming. They were all screaming. It was fun. It was fun. It was very funny.
Yeah.
But at the end, you're like, I'm done.
But then we actually, I'll send it to you. I don't know if you had seen it. I had posted. We had done 2 EVPs. One was from White Hill, and then another one was from the one with TJ when he got a great freaking response at down at the basement. Down in
What was that?
What the hell was that?
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that?
Was that a knock?
No, it was like an echo.
No,
it froze, and it was
sounded
like an
we were in
echoey
an airplane or
in
something.
an airplane or something. It was weird. Some weird stuff starting to happen during the show.
Whoever my friend
Pre-recording.
is, please let us get through this.
So yeah, he TJ, had a good response on his EVP
EVPA.
and the
That's a new one. What's that?
yeah, that's the newest type of EVP. You add an A to it.
It is an electric voice phenomenon. Awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was going to say asshole.
Oh Jesus, God. All right, and then we did. There was an event. It was with Frankie and Parasite at the Ritz on Saturday night, and Sean Austin was there, and Angelina from Jersey Shore. They were last minute literary things, though they were not originally there for the event, but they did their own thing, which was perfectly good. But the place was active.
It was crazy.
It was crazy active. I mean,
That's
it was really, really active, and got a cool experience there.
And we weren't together. I went my own way.
Yeah, you did your own thing. I did my own thing.
That never happens.
So
Wow. Interesting.
here we are to
Can't wait
tonight's
see what
show.
kind of evidence you guys captured
I
separately. That
know.
would be cool.
Yeah.
I still have to listen to all my stuff.
You still have a
but-
lot of your recorder that you got to go through. So
Yeah.
Well, if you get
I'll
more
listen
captures,
to
you'll
it.
have to do that more often.
she has to go through it, aka me will go through it.
That's right.
And then she'll tell you you're wrong.
Then I'll say, no, don't you hear that? And you go, oh, I didn't hear that, but I heard it now. That wasn't you? No.
Nope, wasn't me. So
No,
all right,
we do.
let's get to our awesome guest for
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
this evening.
Lovely to meet her finally.
So, guys, coming to you pre-recorded is Michaela Ford. She is a podcast host, writer, researcher, and paranormal investigator. I'm going to skip that part. I'm going to let her do that. Michaela has been an active member of several paranormal investigative groups over the last 16 years and enjoys getting her boots on the ground to investigate unusual activity. She considers herself to be an open-minded skeptic, which comes to her belief in the paranormal. She has written extensively for Paranormality Magazine in the USA and hosts a podcast of paranormal content, Paranormal or What podcast, in which she interviews people involved with the paranormal world. Michaela is interested in all aspects of the supernatural and unexplained, although her initial interest was ghostly phenomena and hauntings. Through her plethora of interviews and ever-growing number of contacts in the world of Fortean, her research has taken her in numerous directions and areas of interest. She has spoken at 2 ASSAP Association for the Scientific Study of Anomalous Phenomena conferences over the last 2 years about UFO sightings in the UK and theories behind the missing objects phenomenon, and hopes to be invited to speak to more conferences in the future. Everybody say hello to Michaela.
Hello.
Hello, Michaela.
Hello. Wow, what a welcome.
Nice
Hello.
to have you.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for
Great
coming
to
on.
see you.
What I failed to mention to our audience is the reason we're pre-recording is because Michaela's coming to us from across the pond. Where are you at, Michaela?
I am at the bottom of the UK, a little town called Chichester, which is about an hour away from Brighton, if you've heard of Brighton, on the south coast.
So how far away from London are you? How far?
It's about, which bit of London? Approximately 90 miles, I would say. It's about 90 minutes in a car on a good day.
Not bad. Not too
Not
bad.
too bad.
Not too bad.
So, Michaela, every time that we have a new guest on, especially one that people on this side of the pond probably have never had an experience with, we like to ask them, how did you get involved in the paranormal? It looks like you had an experience when you were a child in Halifax. You want to tell us about that?
I do. How long have you got? It's quite a long story.
We've got 50 more minutes. Take as much of it as you want.
Okay, so it's quite an unusual story, I think. So besides, I had some very strange experiences when I was a very small child, when I was about 3 years old, and I could not tell you whether, because I'm a lady of a certain age now. It was a long time ago. So I don't know whether I imagined them, but they felt like they were real. But we'll kind of brush past those and move on to when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I'm from a county called Yorkshire, which is about 300 miles north of where I live now. So it's kind of right in the middle of the UK, and it's landlocked. And it's quite an interesting county. It's got a lot of history. It's one of the oldest counties in the UK. And of course, if you sort of keep in your mind that before Christianity in Britain, the pagans basically ran the whole country. And this kind of harks back to that. So what happened was we, as any small town or village does anywhere in the world, we had sort of legends about things that children might be scared of. So the one that always, I'm a primary school teacher. I have been for the last 21 years, I think it is now. And it always amazes me that some of these legends still hold today and still are all over the world. So imagine the legend of Bloody Mary.
Right.
You know the one? Do you have that over there where you look in the mirror and say her name 3 times and she'll appear? Well, we had that. The kids that I teach now talk about her, and we talked about that legend when I was, in the late 70s. So our local legend, though, was that there were in the abandoned houses nearby. So imagine a kind of a very, very countryside landscape with rolling hills, quite bleak, lots of abandoned stone cottages from the mill workers in the past, and the sort of place where kids love to explore. And apparently all of these places were haunted by something we call zombies. Now, not to be mixed up with zombies that we see nowadays on films. I've no idea why we call them zombies. Yeah, exactly. They bore no relation. Zombie, it was just like a kind of catch-all word for scary creatures, really. Okay. So one day it's break time. All the kids are out in the playground, and it was lunch break, actually. And so we used to have... I'm sure that you have the same sort of thing. We call them, they're called midday meal supervisors these days, but we used to call them dinner ladies when I was little. And so there would be a few of these ladies out watching the children on the playground, make sure we don't kill each other. Anyway, it was winter. I remember it was winter, and this shout came. So our school... looked out over our sports field, and then beyond the sports field we have these walls that are called dry stone walls, which are walls that are built with no cement or anything like that. It's kind of a skill that was passed down through the centuries, build these amazing walls. About 3 fields over and going up towards one of these abandoned houses, we were all looking out over the field, and this kid shouted out, the zombies, I can see the zombies. So we all ran over to the wall and looked over, as you would. And there were these three... It's a
natural thing to do.
Exactly. 3 figures. So not in the sports field, not the field after, but the field after that. And in that field, there were cattle. And these 3 figures were imagine the Grim Reaper. So
Right.
a black hooded robe, all the way down to the floor, and they had wooden staffs in their hands, and they were walking very, very slowly up the hill, all three of them, and they were very quietly and gently herding the cows up the hill. And so, of course, we were just going crazy, going, "It's the zombies! It's the zombies!" And the cows didn't seem scared or anything like that. And so the rumor then started: they're taking the cows to the abandoned house to eat them, like little kids do. And we got ourselves in a real sort of state. There were about 20 of us. And one of these dinner ladies came over. That was quite a weird thing to happen anyway, but could be explained. But one of the dinner ladies came over and she said, "What are you all looking at? What's all this fuss?" And we said, "Well, it's the zombies. It's the zombies. Look over there." And she couldn't see them.
A real them.
Yeah, we all saw them. All the kids saw them. And she said, "Well, I can't see anything." And we were pointing really vehemently towards them, going, there. And she's going, "I can't see anything." And then that obviously freaked her out.
Right.
Because they were, and we're all shouting and screaming. And I shouted, "Can I go over and look closer? Can I go over the field? I want to see them." And so, of course, she said no.
I'll be right back.
And me being a well-behaved little child didn't sort of break that authority. I really wish I had now. So anyway, the strangest thing happened. The dinner bell rang, even though it wasn't time to go in, and we were all herded out of the playground and back into our classrooms. And I could see them. I was watching them all the way around. We had these outdoor classrooms because the school was too small, actually, for the amount of children that we had. So we had these outdoor classrooms, and I could see these figures all the way back till I got in the classroom. And then one thing that I hadn't remembered, but one of my school friends who remembers this subsequently remembered that we'd all been taken into the school hall and basically told that we hadn't seen anything. We'd all, it was just your imagination. It's just ridiculous. You haven't seen anything. So that's where that part of the story finishes. Now, move forwards 20 years. And
real fast, sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
Can I, not to interrupt, sorry, not to break your train of thought, but I find that interesting because I was going to say, well, it's one thing at that age, they say younger children are more open to seeing things and experiences. But then, it wasn't just you, it was multiple students.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then you have that, the adult coming in and they're like, "Oh, no. But then they're like, what you said as far as
you saw nothing.
You saw nothing. It's like, what the heck? So you wonder, like, what the heck? Well, maybe she's, they were lying, not being truthful with you. So,
yeah, I think so, definitely.
I find that quite interesting.
So yeah.
Or them out.
Right.
The next bit is the bit that I find more incredible, actually. So 20 years ahead, I'd moved away from Halifax, but I used to come back and visit quite a lot. And I visited one of my friends, and she took me round to her friend's house, and her friend lived on a farm right behind my old school. So they were kind of in a line with each other. There was my school at the front by the road, and then behind the school there was this farm, and her friend Alex lived there. So we went, as you do in the UK, you pop in for a cup of tea. So we popped in to see Alex. And her father was quite an entrepreneur, and he'd built her this little kind of apartment. We call it a flat in the UK. It's on the ground floor. And it was overlooking the very field that the playground further down overlooks, where we'd seen these figures. So while we were having this cup of tea, I was looking through her book collection, and I love reading horror and things like that. And I remember she had Marabou Stalk Nightmares by Irving Welsh. And I was really excited about that. So I went into the kitchen waving this book at her. And realized that her kitchen was overlooking the field, and immediately brought it back to me. So I said, "Oh my goodness, this is that field where I saw the zombies." And she looked at me and said, "What do you mean zombies?" And I said, "Oh, I saw these 3 figures with black cloaks on." And she just looked at me and went, "Oh, yes, I see them all the time."
Oh,
Wow.
Oh my.
wow.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. So, if you were going to brush it off as childhood fancy, then you've got
Right.
someone else 20 years
Right.
later saying, and she
They
said
should
that he's quite kind of psychically talented, and she says she sees her walking up and down that field all the time. So then I did research into what they are, and it turns out that what I think they are land spirits. They're called the Genii Cuculatti, and they were land spirits, and they were always in 3s, and they're actually carved into a lot of churches around the Yorkshire area. And they were kind of deities that were worshipped by the pagans, and they stood for fertility, and they also were protectors of children and protectors of the land.
Yeah.
So apparently, it seems that's what we saw. We saw these benevolent figures. They weren't anything to be worried about. So,
Right.
Almost similar to what some people refer to as like elementals.
yeah, almost, yeah. But so obviously I was hooked after that.
That was it. That was your calling.
That
I
was
feel like
it.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I've seen like that hooded monk figure, because we're looking at, because in the bio I looked up the how you pronounced it so eloquently. I'll let you pronounce it. I'm not going to try.
Genii Cuculatti.
Cuculatti, right? Yeah. So like seeing those 3 hooded figures, there's a picture of 3 stone figures, carvings or whatever that I'm looking at right now on, so it's quite interesting. And I almost want to say I've seen those before somewhere, watching a TV show. Maybe it was something I picked up on before, but that's interesting. And then 20 years later, like you said, you got that. Oh, I saw them all the time. It was like old hat for her. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And that they were basically there, like looking out for you guys, and kind of, almost in a sense, and
they allowed us to see them, which I feel immensely privileged. Being able to see something like that, it's amazing.
Right.
That's interesting. That's way interesting.
Interesting.
That's so cool.
So
I see you're another legend. New for us.
Yeah, it's great. Sorry.
So what was your?
Something?
No, you're good. So what was your first? So the whole Fortean, is that how I pronounce Charles Fort? How did you kind of come to kind of follow? Was that just, you came across those stories, that gentleman in America, he was an entrepreneur, or he was, he basically had a collection and study of the unexplained paranormal, kind of, so to speak. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Well, it's not him in particular. It's just a collective word, really, for the study of paranormal things. The Forteana, it's known as now. So I was just trying to be posh and showing off my vocabulary and going, "Oh yes, this looks good. It's better than constantly repeating paranormal studies or paranormal research." So yeah, that's it really. So it's just I'm just fascinated by anything that can't be explained, as we all are, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this now. It's just so fascinating.
So you also, go ahead, Chris.
It's all a part of history. It's everybody. If you go back to the time of the deities and the Roman times, it was the unexplained was something to be feared, and we have progressed throughout history to the point to where the unexplained is now something we chase to try and make sense of it. Yeah. And not only does it sometimes have a scientific background to it that can be explained, but as we're finding, those of us that have been in the paranormal world for as long as we have, that there's a lot out there that we can explain, which leans more towards the metaphysical, spiritual side of things, right?
Yeah.
Which is that's what fascinates us. It's the search of knowledge. It's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that not to sort of put people off who like to look at supernatural and paranormal happenings in a scientific manner, I'm all for that. But I think we're kind of chasing our tails a bit, because I just don't think that we will be able to prove anything without doubt. I'm not sure it's possible, which then kind of puts it in the league of almost the same league as religions. You just have to believe based on your own experiences, or you don't believe based on your own experiences. It's that intangibility which is so frustrating yet so fascinating.
Right.
Agreed.
Well, and I've said this numerous times that, I mean, some of the answers that Ron and Lourdes get off of the TDSE is sometimes they won't answer the questions that we ask, and it's almost like we won't find out until we leave our physical form and enter that spiritual world what those answers really are. Right.
Yeah, and maybe not even then. I mean, that's the sort of thing that I've thought about quite a lot. I mean, we just don't know the rules of the afterlife, who's allowed to know what, I think one of the things that I've said time and time again on my podcast is the more that I've read about this and experienced the paranormal and tried to learn about it, almost the less I know. It's almost, I feel more confused now than I did 20 odd years ago.
Right. It just opens more questions. Yep.
Yeah. And that mystery, that unknown gets deeper when when you're thinking, hey, maybe you get an answer, or you start to understand it a little bit. And then it's like, nope, forget that. But so Chris mentioned good friends of ours, Ron and Lourdes. So how we were able to meet you and, kind of make this connection was this past September, we made it over across the pond to the Festival of the Unexplained. Now that's how we met you. We had wonderful, conversations with you throughout the event that we were at there. The previous year, had you gone and are you familiar with Ron and Lourdes, and did you get a chance to experience the Staticon,
which
they switched it to
the digital seance.
Digital seance. Thank you. I'm having a brain.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah, I haven't seen their new tech and gears now, because I know they parted from the person that they were working with before. Now I really got on with them very well. In fact, they were going to come on my podcast, but on the night that we were going to chat, they had some family emergency, and then, as the way is with these sort of chats, we've kind of never got round to reorganizing it. So I'd love to have them on, if hopefully they still remember me. But yeah, it was great. It was fascinating.
Absolutely. So the experience, if we could just briefly, I want to talk about. So you're investigating. We know you've curious about the paranormal. So do you want to share with our audience our kind of little experience in the at Bosworth Hall, and how you were there with us when we did that little mini investigation in the I think it was like the hall. I forget what exactly hall it was called, but about
with the little girl.
No, about the white lady, the story of the white lady when we were doing it. And I referred to her when we were there. Her name is Lady Dixie. Anna Dixie. So I was calling her, I think it was the daughter, but it was actually the mother, I believe, or I was referring to the mother, but it was the daughter. But we had a cool little experience there. We had the REM pod inside and set of the fire in front of the fireplace and stuff. So just share with our audience maybe your takeaway from that little experience.
Now I'm going to have to fish in the realms of my memory now, which is not very good. You put me on the spot. I can't remember what was the device that we had where we were getting all the answers. I think
it was the REM pod. So it was the radiating electromagnetic. It was the little round device with the antenna, and it had all the little the different lights and the tones. It was basically a proximity sensor that we were using to pick up electric changes in the electromagnetic field.
Box, I think we had that.
Phasma box maybe going and stuff, but
that was it as well. We had a few different devices going.
Different things. Yep.
We ended up having a complete conversation with this spirit that came through. I'm afraid I can't remember what.
No, that's all right.
The woman.
It was amazing. I know it went on for ages, didn't it? And we were really reluctant to stop.
Yeah, and we were getting
Yeah,
what
but it
we
was
like.
late though.
It was late. It
We're like,
was.
it's late,
I think
we
it was
can't
like
do
going
it.
on 2 or 3 in the morning.
It was, yeah,
It was getting past our bedtime.
definitely.
I always like to tie back in the timing and relevance. So we had a lot of timing and relevance.
We did. And do you remember, were you there when we went down into that little bar area earlier in the night? Next to the big room where we had the ball, and there was a little bar area. And then
they had a prison door, right?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And someone who was with us, Karen, I think it was, she was sat on the sofa and she said that somebody poked her in the back.
Yeah, I think so.
That's on the sofa. I remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd like to have had more time to investigate the hall actually, but there were too many people there really.
Right.
We were on a strict schedule.
Yeah, we were. So
Michaela, you say in your bio that you consider yourself an open-minded skeptic. Can you tell our audience how when you're on an investigation, how do you apply the open-minded skeptic to the trying to capture of evidence?
Okay, so it's kind of the kind of old-fashioned version of skeptic. What I mean by that is I don't mean that I don't believe in what's happening or the paranormal. I'm open-minded because when something happens, what I try not to do is immediately jump to the paranormal. I try and discount regular things that are happening, normal things that are happening. Is there a breeze? Is it cold? Has someone sneezed or knocked something over? All those sorts of things first. And I like to see whether we can recreate the thing that's just happened, to see whether it will happen again, and to ask out into the ether, can you get that to happen again? And then if it continues to happen or happens again, then you can start to think, well, what could this possibly be? And then eventually when it seems that you've sort of run out of regular explanations, then think, well, maybe it is something paranormal, so that's what I mean by open-minded skeptic, because I think sometimes if you just say you're a believer, people think that you'll believe anything, and there are quite a lot of people who will attribute everything to the paranormal, and because they want it to be, and I want it to be as well, but I won't allow myself to believe it until I'm happy with the evidence we've got, and I can go, actually, I do think that this is unexplainable, therefore maybe paranormal.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good.
Completely agree.
So talk to us about your podcast. Since you're on ours, let's talk about yours.
Okay. Well, I started up about 6 years ago now. So in the middle of lockdown, like many podcasts, I think, were started up around that time, just because everyone was going slightly mad in their houses, thinking, how can I follow my hobby and stay vaguely sane? So I had a lot of time to research how to do a podcast. I'm not a very technical minded person. I do okay. I do my own editing. I've taught myself how to use things basically, but I'm not a huge techie. So having had the time to sort of research into it, I thought, oh, well, this seems like I could do this. And then it was amazing. Once I started up a Facebook page, how many people said, oh, I'll come on and talk about my experience. And that's how it started, really. I never really wanted it to be an interview podcast. It's just, that's how it's evolved, really. I'm sure you're probably very familiar with one of the most successful paranormal podcasts in the USA, which Monsters Among Us. Mm-hmm. With Derek Hayes. And so what he does is he gets people to call in with their paranormal stories. And the whole of his show is people calling in with stories. And that's what I wanted to do. But it's so difficult to get people to call in. And it's even difficult to get your friends, you know, to pin them down and go, all you have to do is pick up your phone, record your story on your phone and email it to me. That's all you have to do. And still, they don't find the time. They're too shy. They don't like their voice, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And it's just been a non-starter, really. I've had a few segments on the podcast over the years where I've managed to scrape a few together. And we've had a little segment where we've had people calling in. But it's mainly been interviews. Plus, it's a lot easier to edit interviews than trying to edit lots and lots and lots of voice clips. It's the one time I did it, it took me half a day, and I thought, oh my goodness, no wonder Derek Hayes has got a whole army of helpers. So I'm just working within my means, and I'm talking to anybody basically. I've been very lucky to have very well-known people from the paranormal world on. Cliff Barrackman and of course they've all fallen out of my head now. Dave Schrader, people like that. They've been on the show, and then a lot of just very regular people who've had strange things happen to them. So
and you've had a kind of the full spectrum, because you know we've seen Swales, kind of witch aspect, part of the paranormal. Jay Austin, who's a ufologist. And I've gone back and watched the one with Jay Strader and stuff like that. So you delve, you're just not focused on one area. You kind of the whole
thing. Yeah. So. I think because so I started off just very much interested in ghosts. But because I just sort of opened it right out and said, anyone who's had any sort of experience that they might consider paranormal, contact me. Then you get a very, very diverse sort of lots of people calling in and wanting to be on the show. And I've heard stories that, defy explanation. And a lot of times when people tell you things, you've got to be very sort of careful and kind to them, because in your mind, you might be thinking, this is a load of balls.
Yes. This person is not right.
But then by the other side, you're thinking, but either they've spent many, many weeks and months on this story, adding details, but you think the details of this story are just too much, too detailed. Yeah. It's like, how could they have made this up? Either they're an awesome storyteller, or they have definitely experienced this, or they believe they've experienced this. Right. I've had quite a few people claiming to have been abducted by aliens and telling me how it felt to be taken up through the roof of their house and into the craft that they were taken into, never mind what happened when they got there. And that defies the physics that we know. And I've had this debate with my husband a lot, because I'm very much of the opinion that obviously, in my mind, there's physics way beyond our understanding that we will probably never understand in the whole of the history of the world ever. And I think it's very, I'm getting on my high horse now. I think it's quite arrogant of human beings to go, well, no, that couldn't possibly happen. And I say, well, I can picture it in my mind. I can picture atoms moving and letting somebody through, and then putting it all back together again. I mean, so that's meant to be impossible, but, I don't know. And then you get people who've told you about, bumping into Bigfoot, which I don't find quite so unbelievable after all these years and all the things I've read and heard. I'm quite willing to go, yeah, I really believe this could be possible. But then you get onto the really weird creatures. like pig men. So
Mothman, right? We got Mothman here. We got the Jersey Devil here in Jersey.
Yeah. Well, that's where I saw him though. But I saw the Jersey Devil.
Oh my goodness! Right, you're going to have to come on my podcast and tell me all about that.
Put them on your podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow! But the Fresno night crawlers. I mean, what are they? They're like coat hangers with bubbles on the top. I mean, it's just mind bending, really. So I've sort of, I'm prepared to believe anything these days, basically.
But again,
with a pinch of salt.
Devil, it's what I thought I saw. Did I see it? But then when TJ, our son, was sitting next to me and looked at me, he goes, "Okay, are we going to discuss this? Like, what did we just see?" So him seeing what I saw, I've got to believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was something.
It was something.
Right.
It was something.
Go on, you're going to have to tell me now. I think you told me, but I might have had wine at the time. So
it may have been during the vampire ball.
During that time.
It may have been that time, a little bit of wine.
Well, and
definitely.
it's called the unexplained for a reason, right? So I'll give you an example. We did the Chautauqua Cemetery. We did a few years back. We took the kids out. We did an investigation that night, and her son, and Audra and I are sensitive. So I saw the shadow of Elizabeth, the apparition of Elizabeth walking through the cemetery, the little girl, and her son saw it at the same time, and he was freaked. He was freaking out, right? So we ended up leaving. We get back to the house, and then I'm like, "You saw it?" And he goes, "I'm not so sure I did." So it's that disbelief of the unexplained when somebody goes into such dramatic detail about what they experience. It's like, okay. So when people talk to us about, "Hey, I'm starting to experience stuff. You've been dealing with this your entire life. How do you explain it?" And I tell them, we pick up stuff quick and fast. And when it stops, it stops. It's when your details keep getting more detailed and keep going on and progressing, you got to start asking yourself, okay, did my imagination now just take over?
Right.
So when it starts coming in fast and then it stops, stop. That's what you saw. That's it. And it's still unexplainable. But when you start adding details like, "Oh, she had a pigtails, she had a little pink boner." Okay, where did your mind take over? That's the part that bothers me, is when people get into such graphic detail, and it's like, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never seen anything that detailed. How did you get such graphic detail? Right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I want to know, Chris, you guys froze. As soon as you started, you froze. I don't know if it's us.
No, they're frozen for me.
I'm just saying. And this is my point, and this is weird timing and relevance. The minute you started talking about Elizabeth, your camera froze, and then you stopped talking, and then I started to talk about it. Boom, just like that. I mean, your camera came back. You're still a little frozen. You're stuck again, but it unstuck for a split second. So that's a little strange. Just saying.
It is a little strange.
Yeah,
wouldn't be the first time we had paranormal happen on the show. So
absolutely. So real fast, Michaela, two things. One, could you please ask the alien over your head to please stop staring at us? And two, could you just tell us what that is?
Yeah, well, that's my painting. I don't know if I can show you. So I've got another one above of Bigfoot. That's Bigfoot.
Okay.
So I'm a bit of an amateur artist. So this is
it's awesomely done. It's very nice.
Have you ever seen the film or read the book Communion by Whitley Strieber? Or Strieber?
I've heard of it. I've never read it.
It's well worth reading, and it's well worth watching the movie. So this is a guy, I think it was in the 70s or 60s, who claimed to have been abducted by aliens. Aliens came to his house all the time, and he wrote a book about it, and it's really fascinating, the book. And this is the guy that was on the front cover. And it's always stuck with me. I think I read it the first time when I was about 15. And because the front of the book is just that picture, so it's kind of backwards. The back page has got all the details on, and the front page is just this. And it really stuck with me the whole time. So, it's just my beginnings of my paranormal art gallery.
It's awesome.
Good for
That's
you.
very awesome.
Zero talent like that. None. None.
give you kudos for the courage to explore and
yeah.
to paint and draw that.
No, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So that's good.
I'm great at stick
Very
figures.
awesome.
I'm not even good at stick figures. I just stick it all together.
Oh, there is one thing I just want to mention before we go, and this is, I'm sure that you have these things. This is my latest obsession, and I just wanted to share it with you because the guy it's about is in the USA. I can't remember whereabouts. Anyway, so I've got 2 teenage boys, and as teenagers do, they're obsessed with watching reels on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos, all that sort of thing. And I've always scoffed at this, and I'm far too grown up to be watching those sorts of things. But I've suddenly got addicted to a YouTube show, and it's an Irish guy, and it's called Mystery Man. You should have a look. And what he's done, he's basically done the same as. Did you ever watch Paranormal Caught on Camera?
Yes.
It's like a magazine show of lots of paranormal happenings. Well, it's like that. So he scours the internet and puts all these videos together of weird things that have happened to people, and it's really, I'm so hooked on it. Anyway, the video that he put up yesterday. So what date? Well, I won't say what date it is today because I don't want to mess up your timings when this goes out. But have a look at the video from yesterday. And on it, there's a guy called Nate, Nate. Pardon?
Was it about Bigfoot?
No, it's about ghosts. And he is, he might have put more than one out yesterday. This guy, Nate, works in a cemetery. He's a cemetery worker. He digs the graves. He puts up the headstones. He mows the grass, all that sort of thing. And very strange things have been happening to Nate over the last few months. And what I think's happened is he's brought home a child's ghost from the cemetery, and it's now creating absolute pandemonium in his house. And I even sent him a message saying, if you want to get in touch, I'll see if I can help you to, get rid of it and sort it out.
Right.
But of course, I'm just some voice on his.
May have to break out the smudge. Might have to do a little smudging.
Yeah. So anyway, I just let you know because it's fascinating. I've been following him, and now I'm following Nate on TikTok. 50-odd-year-old woman addicted to TikTok all of a sudden. You are?
That's me.
Yep.
I watch it all day long.
It's interesting.
Except I watch people popping.
Yeah. So you should have a look. It's fascinating. Once you go down these rabbit holes, that something.
I was getting ready to say, going down rabbit holes.
And you dive in, don't you?
Hold it up. Make sure. Is this the person?
Let me turn it. Is that it?
Mystery Man. Yes, that's him. Yeah. And the little icon talks throughout the program at the bottom. Yep. But his videos are really quite addictive, actually.
We will definitely check it out this afternoon, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I subscribe.
So before you go, one last thing, I have a question. So if you could, so you said also in your bio that you did write for Paranormality Magazine here in the U.S. So just share a little bit about that and how you got to do that.
Yeah, well, we've got a really good magazine in the UK called Haunted, and it's it's just what you would imagine a paranormal magazine to be, and through oh gosh, I'm so bad with surnames now. He's going to be really disappointed in me. So one of the people that I met online was this young man called Aaron, and I can't remember his surname. I'm so sorry, Aaron. He's done a documentary about Dogman. He's a lovely guy, and through him, I got talking to some other people. We made a little sort of paranormal group, and he said, "Oh, my friend has started up a paranormal magazine. This is about four or 5 years ago." And he's looking for writers. And I said, "Oh, I'd like to do something like that. It'd be amazing, to have articles published, because it's really hard to get as an unknown person to get articles published. And they were very kind, and they allowed me on board, and I sent them articles every month. And sometimes I'd do it about the articles about people. So I did one on Dave Schrader, I did one on Cliff Barrackman, and various other people. And then sometimes it would just be an investigation that I'd been on, or I might research into something paranormal in the UK, because it was a bit of a different angle for them. And they're based in Florida. And I think it's still going, but they tried to launch it as a paper magazine, which was very expensive for them. And eventually, I think that they've had to go online now. And then there was a bit of as you probably find this, if you're in a paranormal investigation group, or if you're in some sort of group, let's just say that the politics of the people within it often explode, and then you find that you're kind of no longer there. And you have to either start your own group or go to another group.
We avoid that like the plague.
Right. Yeah. Like, no, thank you.
So
I'll be over here.
So it kind of fizzled out for a while, but I think they've restarted online. And good luck to them. They're really nice people. I don't think that a lot of the original people who used to write for them are there anymore. I think they've got new people now. But it's meant that you get to know people from across the pond, which is amazing, like you.
Yeah. Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, we've got about 8.5 minutes. Michaela, go ahead and all your plugs. Where can they find your podcast? Where can they find your writings? Where can they find you? What can you do for them in the UK and the paranormal? Go ahead and put it out there. No shame.
Okay, so, my podcast can be found on any good podcast platform. I record it on Spotify, but you can get it all over the place. Castbox, Podbean, I can't even remember the name of them all, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So just type in Paranormal or What podcast, or my name, Michaela Ford. On Facebook, I have 2 accounts. One's under Michaela Ford, one's under Paranormal or What podcast. I'm trying to merge them at the moment, but that seems to be easier said than done. I'm also on Instagram with Paranormal or What podcast. I'm on TikTok under Michaela Ford. So if you search for either Paranormal or What podcast or Michaela Ford, I will pop up somewhere.
Everywhere.
Somewhere.
All right. I do have one more question.
Okay.
Being over in the UK, I know Chris and Audra and Carmela and I, we got a little taste of what the UK was like. What's, having all that history and different areas to kind of go explore and investigate, I know it's probably a tough one, but just try and maybe share 1 or 2 of your all-time favorite kind of locations that you've ever visited in the UK.
Okay, so obviously there's just hundreds that I'd like to go to. It's a shame that a lot of them you have to pay to go to, which is quite restrictive. And because they're public events, as I'm sure you have loads of other people trooping around that you don't want to be there. But the ones that I really enjoyed, one's an outdoor place. In fact, 2 of them are outdoor places. One is a place near Leicestershire, halfway up the country. Just below Manchester, actually. It's called Cannock Chase. And Cannock Chase is a haunted woodland, basically. And it's quite a big area. And this is where people claim to have seen werewolves and pigmen. This is where the pigmen are from. Lots of haunted places, very atmospheric and really quite scary when you're walking around there at 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'd love to go back there. There's a really nice, some of the nicest places don't seem to be quite so haunted. There's this lovely old priory near Brighton called Mitchelham Priory. And it's just, you walk up to it and go, this is the ultimate ghost hunting dream. But it's always been very quiet when I've been there, but I've really enjoyed going there. The jails. I'd love to go to Bodmin Jail. That's on my bucket list. And I've been to one or two other old prisons in the UK. Those are always guaranteed to have very scary things happening there. So if you come over, go to a prison. But don't do anything bad. Just go there.
Right. Try not to get locked up. More about the exploration.
Exactly. The place I really want to go in the UK is in Ireland. Actually, it's a place called Leap Castle, which is LEAP, and Hellfire Caves. I really would love to go over there. Actually,
that is my bucket list.
I wonder when we flew over. I remember. I remember when we flew over. It was coming over. It was early in the morning, but we flew over Ireland. So I wonder. So is Leap Castle, is it South, Central, or Northern Ireland? Do you know? Because I think we flew over Dublin.
I think it's South, but I couldn't swear to it.
No,
I think it's South Ireland, Southern Ireland, yeah. And there's so many places I want to come over to the USA and do investigations there as well. There's so many places I want to go to. All your amazing abandoned sanatoriums, the Winchester Mystery House. I really, really, really want to go to. I really hate being middle-aged sometimes. You're just about to say something, and it goes, "No, you're not going to say that word." Right out of your head.
We're all there.
This is a guessing game now. The place where the battle was.
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg.
How embarrassing.
No.
Yeah, that's where I really like to go.
An awesome location.
Yeah,
it's a good place.
one.
There's a lot here.
There is.
A lot where we live.
Don't forget Trans-Allegheny, one of my favorites.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think it would really test my mettle, actually, because I have to say, I have not ever been on an investigation, and now I'll regret saying this now. I've never been on an investigation where I've been scared, ever.
Okay.
So, and I think that those places would test me. I do. And I want to be tested.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the first time we went to Trans-Allegheny, maybe I was a little afraid.
Right, because that unknown.
Yeah. But I love going there.
Definitely more scared than afraid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't say that I've ever been afraid to go anywhere.
No. Never been afraid. Trans-Allegheny was one of the best experiences I've ever had in the 30 years I've been investigating.
Oh, wow.
Todd, too, you had to fight it back.
The most active, the most consistent.
Yeah.
We've been there 3 times, and man, it's not disappointed anytime we went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No.
Well, I'd love to come over at some point when maybe when my boys have finished university and I've finished paying for their education. Then
we feel that pain.
Then I'm coming over with my bags and I'm going to drag my husband over, and he's a non-believer, so I'll send him around all the historical sites and I'll go on all the ghost investigations.
There you go.
That's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
All right, Michaela, it was awesome having you on. Thank you so much for spending the time with us from across the pond. We really enjoyed it. And
it's been absolutely amazing. I really appreciate you having me on. It's been real fun. Thank you.
I love it.
And
we would love to have you on again sometime.
Yep, absolutely.
Definitely. Thank you. See you later.
All right. And to our audience, thank you for joining this pre-recorded show. We will be back live again next week, talking to you in real person, not recorded.
Real time.
We will be back, and we will see you again next week. Guys, remember, it doesn't matter as a child if you see deities or if you see them as an adult. It doesn't matter. It is all unexplained, and the only way that's going to happen is if you stay haunted. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
See you next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.